So in today's video, we're going to learn how to create Blazor animations, something like that, within your project. Now, don't worry, this is not going to be the only animation you're going to have, because we're going to be using this library here, Animate on Scroll. So if you go down, you see the kinds of animations that are available to you. And in order to add them to the project, you're going to need to add the CDNs for the CSS and JS packages. And if you need more references, you can go to their GitHub that has everything you're going to need in order to actually implement the animations. Don't worry, I'll point them out to you as we go along. Let's start by creating a Blazor server app. You can create a WebAssembly one if you want to, and I'm going to be using .NET 7. You can use .NET 6 if you wish, but .NET 7 is fine. So the first thing we need to do is add a JS file here in our www root directory. We'll add a new folder and call this new folder JS. And within that JS folder, we'll be having a new JavaScript file and calling that file animation.js. So just follow me here. We go find our JavaScript file, call this animation.js. And within this file, we're going to need to add the only piece of JavaScript we need in order to get the AOS animations to load, which is going to be on window event listener. And for this particular tutorial, you're not going to need any more JavaScript, or you're not going to need any JS interrupts. So just copy this here and you'll be good for the tutorial, basically. The next thing we need to do is add our references to our underscore host file. So in order to do that, we can get them from the website themselves and just copy paste them into their proper places. So as you can see, we're going to get both the CSS and JS CDNs here, and we're just going to copy them into where they're supposed to go. And also, don't forget our JS file that we just created. That also has to be added here, right where we put the other JS scripts. Our next step is going to have to be creating our component that will have the animations in there, and that we can pass in other components so that they can have the animations. So we're going to go into our pages, right click, go to the component, and then we're going to call this component animation. So once we have that here, we're going to add an HTML object, the div basically, that has all the AOS attributes we need, just like so. So now we're going to have to implement these variables. These variables are strings that are going to be what the data AOS attributes are going to be looking for. And we are just choosing 3 of these. One for animation name, duration, delay. We're going to be controlling them through this. And we're also going to need to create a new render fragment that is going to be the object that we pass into this one in order to wrap around our animations. So in this case, I'm calling it child content, and we're putting it within the div. And then that's how we're actually going to have any object we want and any component we want to have these animations. The next step is going to be to add our lifecycle method, the onParameter set. Here's where we're actually going to set these variables to whatever the value we need. In this case, there's a few set strings that this particular library uses in order to set the actual attribute values. So in this example, I'm just going to set them hard-coded within this lifecycle method. And then later on in the tutorial, we're going to be actually allowing ourselves to change this to whatever animation we want in a much nicer way. In this case, we're just going to hard code it just to set up everything so you can see how this works. And then later on, I'll show you a better, more optimized way of actually implementing this component so you can add animations to whatever you want without actually creating more hard-coded components, because that would be, a really bad idea. The last step is to add the parameter data attribute onto our child content render fragment, because we are going to be passing in something into this component, and this is the only way to do it, through the parameters. So make sure to have that on the render fragment. So the component is now ready. We're going to be testing this inside our counter page, and in here we're going to actually wrap the component around the button HTML, and we don't need to actually pass anything in apart from the button. So if you remember that passing in HTML within the counter is actually passing it through as a parameter. It's just that we have no other parameters apart from the actual button HTML in this case. So later on, we'll actually add some parameters so you could actually change the animation. But in this case, it's just all hard-coded, and that's all you have to do for now. So now let's check our animation. Go to counter, and you'll see that if you go to the button actually has the fade out animation. And now I'm going to go into how to actually change this animation within the component itself. So in order to do that, we're going to need to make some changes to our project and to this component. So we're going to be adding a new parameter to the component, a new string parameter in order to take the place of the animation name variable. So we no longer have to hard code it within the onParameter set. So in order to do that, just add a new variable, call it public string animation selected. And don't forget to put the parameter attribute on top of it, so you can actually pass in this value. And then within our onParameterSet function, we will be changing the attribute. Instead of having the attribute name to be hard-coded, we're actually going to assign this parameter to the animation name variable. So, and also we're going to do a check to make sure that it is not empty. And we're just going to add it, simply setting our animation name, the local variable, to this parameter variable. The next thing we need to do is create a way of actually housing all these animation names so that we're not just hard coding it every time. So in order to do that, we need to add in our data directory a new class, a new static class that we're going to use to actually, have all the names available to us. In this case, we're going to call it Blazor animations. And within here, we're going to first turn this into a static class, and then we're going to add a few strings of constants. So you can add all the constants there if you want, or you can separate this in other static classes to represent the different types of animations. But in our case, we're just going to add the first five animations in the GitHub. So in case you still want to know where this is coming from, it's coming from the GitHub itself. That's where all the references are. So now we must give the counter component access to our data directory so that we have access to that actual static class we just created. And don't forget to actually add the new parameter to animation so we could actually pass in the string of animation that we've decided. And in order to do that, let's create a local variable called animation select. And then inside the uninitialize, add that extra piece of code. So all we're going to do is make sure that we write the right class name, because I copy pasted from the wrong thing. That's okay. Once we add the right class name, we'll have access to that list of strings for those animations, and we just set it up to the local variable we created that's being passed into the animation parameter, and that should create the new animation. So let's see this new animation. It's called fade, and now I'm going to show you that we're just going to change the animation type to something else. So we're going to choose fade down, and we're going to run it again. You can see that the actual animation has changed from the original one. So let's check it out now. As you can see, this is fade down. It's going down compared to the other one that's just fading into it. I know it was a little quick, so it was hard to see. But anyways, this was the entire animation tutorial, much quicker than the other one. And if you have any questions or thoughts or concerns, then please look at my other videos there and give me a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Let me know if you enjoyed it.